If you want to be a better budgeter this year, then this video is for you. I wanted to take you guys through how much money I spent in January. We're officially 1 month done in 2024 already, which is really crazy. And I wanted to let you guys know what I spent on, how much I spent this month, how I did against my budget categories. But as someone who's been budgeting for a few years now, it's kind of second nature for me to adjust my categories and change things up at the beginning of the year. For anyone who it's not second nature to, either you budget already right now, but you're not doing the best job at it, you feel like you're spending too much, you're not happy with where your money is at, or if you haven't set up your budget for the first time and you're not really sure what to do it, I wanted to go over how I decide my different category goal amounts and how you could do that too. Now, I know that some people don't like the word budgeting because to them, budgeting is restrictive. To me, budgeting is actually extremely freeing because it's all about yourself and making your own rules. I think at first when you're creating your budget, you feel like you have to go off of other people's life ideals, what their goals are. You just take on what someone else says is what they're aiming for. That's not going to help you or motivate you at all because you don't actually care about those things. You just either think you should or you just don't know what to care about for yourself. So you're taking on someone else's budget and goals. When you decide what you actually want to be saving on and spending on, all of those different things, all you're doing is helping yourself on a monthly basis live the life that you want to live. And for me, I love that feeling. Now, it does take a few months to actually set the budget that's going to work best for you. You kind of just have to get started, throw yourself into it, and then make tweaks over time. So right now I'm going to show you how I set up my different budget categories. And then after that, we're going to show you everything that I spent in January, how I did, everything like that. Okay, so I'm going to use this tab of our budget tracker to help with the first step, which is deciding on what your different budget categories are. Now, in order to do this, you're going to have to look at all of your past few months of transactions. So this is your bank statements, your credit card statements. I normally just do this on my phone. I pull up my different banking apps, my credit card app. It's a lot easier doing it that way and just kind of skim through and see the different types of things that you spend your money on. Then you're going to write down what all those different budget categories are. So for me, this is literally everything I spend on. Rent, internet, utilities, phone bill, groceries, restaurants, coffee shops, public transportation, taxi services, massage therapists. I do that every single month. The dentist, personal care. This one's kind of broad, but anytime I go to the pharmacy, I get beauty products, anything like that. I put it all under personal care so I don't have so many different categories. Makes it a little easier. Gifts and donations, clothing, travel, subscription, fitness, and then other, that's for those like bigger miscellaneous things that maybe don't happen every single month, but I need to put them somewhere. So those are all my different categories. You're going to go through it and see what you spend on. It's going to be different than this probably, and write all of those down. Now, for all of those different categories, you're going to write down the amount for just your fixed expenses. So this is the stuff that stays the same every single month. It's like your recurring bills, right? So for this list, it's rent, internet, utilities, phone bill, maybe if you have a car payment, anything like that, write down the amount for those necessary fixed expenses. After that, you're going to pick a goal amount for your other necessary expenses. So this is things like groceries. You got to buy groceries every single month. Obviously, the amount changes though. So how much would you like to spend every single month? To start this off, if you have no idea right now, look at what you've spent on an average month for the past few months. Look through that and see, is it way too high? Like, does it make no sense to be spending $500 a month? And then maybe you can bring it down to a more reasonable amount. If you already feel like it's reasonable for you, then put that amount in there too. But you're going to do this for fixed, then your other necessary expenses. The next step is to figure out what stage of your financial goals that you're on. So are you paying off debt? Are you building up an emergency fund? Are you working towards other short-term savings? Are you investing money? Those are all the different stages that you could be at. At a high level, if you're not sure, if you don't have an emergency fund, which is like 3 to 6 months of necessary expenses in case you lost your job or something bad happened, that would be a good thing to build up first. After that, debt payoff, then other short-term savings, and then investments. Whatever stage you're at, that's what you want to think about next. So the first thing you've done is budgeted for your necessary fixed expenses that kind of have to be there and are the same every single month. Then you want to figure out how much you can put towards those financial goals every single month. After all of that is taken care of, so your necessary stuff and paying yourself first, then it's onto your wants, right? So this could be, like for me, it's clothing, restaurants, coffee shops, different things like that. For you, it could be totally different. But whatever it is that you don't have to be spending on, but you want to be, that's what you can budget for last. Now, the balance between how much you're going to be saving versus spending on these wants, that's going to be something that you're going to have to figure out and tweak over the first few months of having your budget. Honestly, I still evaluate all the time and see what I want it to be like. But again, if you want to be saving more money, then you're going to have to cut down on those wants. And if you're okay with spending in certain categories, you'll have to figure that out for yourself too. Okay, now we're on to the fun part, which is going through all the money that I spent in January, how I'm doing against my budget so far. So I'm actually going to pull up my budget tracker right here and kind of line by line tell you every single thing I spent money on. So I spent my Spotify subscriptions, $12.42 on the first of the month. That one's automatic. Same with monthly rent check. Actually, a funny thing for us is that our landlord doesn't tend to cash the checks on the first. It could be any time in the first 5 days. Apparently, it was on the second this month. So a monthly rent check for $950. Then I had a few other category payments in a row. We started doing yoga every single day at home, which has been really awesome. Seriously, I think I missed 2 mornings out of all of January, but it's been really nice to start the day with that. I didn't have a yoga block, so we bought some yoga blocks off of Amazon to make it cheap for $26.36. That same week, I also bought new placemats. This is a very low cost thing. It was $16.94, but we had placemats before that were peeling underneath and flaking away. New year, new month, I wanted to clean that up and get a fresh start with the placemats. So that was in my expenses. And then the last thing on the same day was some money I spent on books at Indigo. I had a bunch of different Indigo gift cards from Christmas this year and last year that I hadn't spent somehow. So I bought a few different books, and then I guess I just couldn't decide to kick one out of the list. So I spent $31.59. I think I got 6 different books though, and I got 4 for Christmas. So I have a lot of reading to get through. I haven't even finished a single book yet this year, so I really have to get to it, but I have lots of books to read. On the 7th, we did our first grocery trip of the month at Metro, $86.81. Quick note, in case somehow you've missed it, I've been talking about it so much, I feel like. My goal this year, my main money goal, I guess, is to spend $0 on Uber Eats. Sneak spoiler alert, you're not going to see any of that on here because I successfully did it for the first month. But someone asked if we're going to up our grocery amounts every month because of that. I think my plan is to just see how much I'm naturally spending on groceries over the next few months and see if I have to bring it down. So this is the first trip of this month. We'll see at the end what my total is. You can probably already see it on screen, but we'll talk about it in a second. The 8th of January is my biggest expense of the month. I spent $359.55 on some tickets to Hassan Minaj's comedy show. It's kind of like a Valentine's Day gift. Dennis already knows about it, so it's not a spoiler that it's in here, but we're going to do that together in February. So that was a big one, but I'm pretty sure that my budget is still under all my expenses even with this because I didn't spend too much in the other categories, so we'll see at the end, but that was a big unexpected one. Then came my monthly massage appointment, $146.90. That's what I spend every single month on it. I think I only have a few personal care expenses this month. I was definitely under budget, but I did order some face and eye masks from Shoppers Drug Mart, which is our pharmacy. I've been very dry. My skin has been so dry so far this winter. So this probably wasn't a must, but it definitely is helpful to have some moisturization stuff. So I spent $35.16, not too expensive. Another grocery trip to the Metro for $90.62. I didn't mention it for the last one, but this is my half. So you'll see that I always put in the equal sign, the total divided by 2. Dennis will e-transfer me his half a little bit later on, but this is my actual expense personally, not what's out of my account, but what I'll end up paying for it. Okay, next up on the 14th and 15th, about halfway through the month, our internet and utility bills came through. Same thing here. These are my actual halves, so not the total bill, but what my portion is. We split it down the middle. So our Rogers, $31.07 for internet's always the same. And this month, my part of the hydro bill was $26.09. Then another quick midweek grocery trip. This is part of the whole not eating out at all. We've done 2 midweek grocery trips. So instead of ordering anything, we go and get some extra vegetables. It's pretty much the main thing that we still need. Sometimes we run out of the fresh produce midweek. So we just went to the No Frills, which is closer to us, for $25.33. Again, my half, but a lot cheaper. One more really quick trip to Shoppers. I was actually going to meet a friend for brunch, and I had some time to kill, and it was the most cold day ever. I'm sure everyone remembers that day this month. That was really freezing, and I bought some hand cream. It's pretty funny that the only thing I bought this month, only things I bought for my personal care was to keep myself moisturized. I still feel pretty dry, but at least I have some moisturizing tools. Then that same day, I went out to brunch. Again, I'm not stopping my eating out in general, just takeout and Uber Eats or any delivery apps. So I'm still allowed to go out. It's actually hopefully going to encourage me to go see my friends more and eat meals in that type of way. I don't want to go too crazy, but this month I went to brunch for $44.74, which is not too bad. We also went to coffee after. I bought both of our coffees, so that's why it was $12.15. Very cute shop, Cafe 23 if you're in Toronto. Then I actually did Uber home from brunch. I was going to take public transportation, but I was pretty tired. And again, it was the really, really, really freezing cold day. I would be upset about this if it took me over budget for the month, but I'm pretty sure I'm good on my budget, so I'm not mad about it. It was $17.51 though, which was a really expensive Uber. I think I got stuck in traffic. then are almost done. Actually, the next 3 in a row are all grocery expenses, which to me is a sign that I haven't been spending that much on anything else if it's not broken up by the little stuff. So a Metro, then a No Frills midweek, then a Metro run again, $81.49, $28.80, then $49.39. Then I have a blank here. It's actually, you guys are seeing this at the end of the month, but I'm filming this a few days in advance so we can get it up for you. I know I'm going to coffee with a friend, so I have that kind of in here blanked out for myself. I don't know how much I'll spend. I have to imagine under $20. We're just going to get like pastries and coffee, so shouldn't be too crazy. And then my very last expense for the month is my monthly investing of $2,000 that's going into my Wealthsimple Trade TFSA. So unless I spend on something crazy and unexpected in the next few days, other than the coffee expense that hasn't happened yet, this is everything that I should be spending for the month. So if we turn our attention to the budget versus actual table, you can see I did pretty good. I'm seeing a lot of green, a little bit of red. One of them is groceries, right? So this is what I was saying. We're going to keep an eye on this for the next few months at least, probably till the end of March to see how it's going. Instead of my goal of $300, we spent $362.43 each this month. This is pretty high. I'm pretty sure last year my average groceries was like $280 a month. So it did go up higher, probably from buying recipe-specific items and then also those midweek runs as well. But I'm not unhappy about this, especially since my eating out is so low. Like, look below. My restaurant budget's $150. I only spent $44.74. I did not do that any month last year. Like, I don't think I had a single month under hundreds of dollars, so I'm extremely happy about this. So if my grocery bill is $60 higher, I'm not mad about that at all, but we'll see how it goes over the next few months and what we can do about that. So again, restaurants under, which is amazing. Coffee shops under as well, which was really fun. Instead of $50, I spent $12.15. This will go up though for that coffee trip in a few days. So it'll still be under budget though, which is great. I didn't have to refill my public transportation. I did buy that one Uber. That's my other red category. And then gifts and donations, I have budgeted for $0 because I don't spend on this on like a monthly basis, but it's okay if it goes over instead of my other category. So my other, I had those like what? Placemats, yoga blocks, and books, but still way under the $300 that could be in there. And I think combined with my other categories, yeah, look at that. So again, let's keep in mind like $20 for coffee shops, but my monthly expected expenses is $4,159.91, but I'm going to be about $4,100, which means I saved $50 extra than I even had planned, which I'm actually so excited about. I don't think I was on or under budget like at all last year. So to be off to a good start like this is really awesome. Now, make sure you guys follow along the rest of this year too, because I promise you, we're not one of those channels where I'm going to be on budget every single month. I almost know it, not to jinx myself, but it's not that it's going to be perfect all the time. I'm very happy to have a good start to the year though. So we'll see how it goes. I really want to know what budget categories you guys prioritize. So please prioritize. So please let us know in the comments below. Make sure you check out our past videos if you haven't yet. We have a really great one that just went up about how to eliminate fees for your checking account. So check that out and we'll be back next week with another video.